Namaste. Myself Chaitanya Padekar from Bangalore, Karnataka. I work as Academic Director for Chira Education Trust now. I welcome all the Heartians on this special occasion of International Day of Yoga 2020. All the SS students, faculties, staff and all the connected members of Sacred Heart College, Tevara. Today we have this occasion of International Day of Yoga. We can't call it as a celebration because of the pandemic and COVID-19 situation is putting all the people under distress. So we can call it as an occasion to remind about yoga. And this year we are celebrating 6th International Day of Yoga. The theme given is Yoga for Health, Yoga at Home. As we know that social distancing is going on, people are under lockdown situation and we cannot go to the studio and practice. Therefore, we have to practice something at home. So today's talk, I wish to address that how yoga is relevant in this particular COVID-19 situation. You know that people are relating yoga is good now, yoga is not good now. Whether it is a simply campaign or there is any scientific meaning for that. This is what I wish to address in today's talk. And most of my points are the summary of Dr. Nagratna D. She is a director of research in S. Vyasa Yoga University. I picked some of the points from her and their team research, and I'm conveying to you the best possible, simplest way. As I told you, how yoga is relevant in this situation. So let us understand from the scientific point of view in the beginning, because you all might be read that through the newspaper. It's already got an idea that people are undergoing stress. Lives are getting lost all of a sudden. Once the infection comes, within no time the persons are collapsing, and moreover their loved ones, their families under the stress, and seeing all these people and listening to the news, people are anxious, and some people are having job related, financial related insecurities. Altogether a negative situation is expanding. It's not only in India and across the globe it's going on. So we know that this disease is something very dangerous. Person who is really having good immunity can overcome out of it. Person who is weak is going to suffer more. So what is this immune system? Immune system is a term given for our body defense mechanism. Whenever an unwanted particle or toxin is invading to the body wishes to fight against that. That fighting system is scientifically termed as immune system. So it is having nothing but a bunch of WBC. You might be heard of white blood cells like RBC, red blood cells. They have white blood cell. The major mechanism is to keep our body hygiene, safe, secure, so that the normal physiology may not be disturbed. So WBC, some lymphocytes are there. They'll be running across the system and checking that is there any enemy invading. So like our soldiers who are checking in the border, likewise these are also checking in our system through the body, all the places will go on. So the major enemy in this COVID-19 pandemic situation is coronavirus. So I'll address from that. So the coronavirus is the major entry portals are nasal cavity and digestive tract. So what happens when a unwanted toxins or this virus invades into the body? Body try to resist and suppress this particular unwanted substance from the entry point itself. These immune cells, what we call WBCs, so they are abundantly accumulated in our tonsils, adrenals. So the sinus also will secrete the antioxidant to suppress the entry of this particular virus. So these are the first level of defense. So tonsils, adrenals and sinus. So when this infection happens, our immune cells have two major capacity. One is discriminating whether the entered thing is useful to the body or harmful to the body. If it is a harmful one, then how much quantity of immune cells should be ready to attack them? See, virus is a very minute, very small. If you see that it is 0.1 micron in size, whereas our WBC is 15 micron in size. So they will gather them and they will suppress that. The system, the body system is so well designed that we can suppress this particular virus in the entry portal itself. Then why it is not happening? So if we have such an organized mechanism, where we are failing? So that is very interesting. So when this particular infection happens, body raise the temperature, the phlegm and cough are actually the signs that the body tried to throw it out. and it's a good sign to throw it out. So when infection happens, the body physiology changes from normal, it will enter a kind of stress. Here stress is not a disease or disorder. Stress means a natural way to cope up with the situation. So the body is under the extra pressure. For example, when we use the word stress, you have one kind of thought process going on in your mind, one certain amount of thoughts. Suddenly the bulk of thoughts, rigorously it is coming. Then you call mental stress. I'm mentally stressed. So many thoughts are rigorously coming in the mind. Similarly, physical stress. You are having one amount of activity regularly. One day you will get an extra job to do, or a few days you have extra work to do. Then we call physical stress. So stress is nothing but our extra additional work to cope up the natural situation. Similarly, when this infection happens, the body is under a stress. It is trying to cope up. It has to work in a different speed. So then what happens? Added to that, immediately you know that you are COVID-19 positive. Then immediately your anxiousness goes up, tension goes up. What happens to me? I'll be in isolation. Whether I'll be able to see my house people again or not. Whether I'm going to lose my life. This kind of mental stress will start high. So when the mind is, all the nervous system under pressure, it adds 10 times more stress on our system than the normal. Now the body is confused. So body have one level extra work, it is taking the load. You are giving an extra 10 times load because of your mental strain. Whenever anxiety goes up, the immune response becomes low. Then virus have more chances to invade further to infect our system. So here comes, now you might have been understood that how important to keep our mind calm, poised, just to be present, not entertaining any unwanted thinking whenever the situation comes, allowing our immune system to respond properly, facilitating that, providing a rest, not doing an excessive work so that the body can get extra strain. This is very similar mechanism like in afternoon classes the students might have been observed that after having a very heavy meal in the canteen, when you come back, the first session normally the biology botany classes will be, I used to get it in the first hour. So people are very drowsy, it's like lullaby. Why? Why they are drowsy? Their blood rushing towards digestive system and focused on the digestion, and the blood is not supporting the intellectual process. Similarly, when the immune system is working, the body is under stress and it is now confused where to cope up. So here comes the yoga role. Whenever you are practicing yoga, we are introducing certain pranayamas which can help you to come back or control your anxiety. See, people will say that don't think much, calm down or come back to the normal situation. How one will come back? It's not possible unless you have a particular tool, either through prayer or through set of yoga practices like pranayama or some meditation. These are some of the tools where you can, where you are beyond your ability, you can work something so that you can calm down yourself. So when I'm mentioning this, so the scientific way we understood that what is immune system, how immune system is responding when an infection comes, and how important it is to keep our anxiety level low to support the immune system. In 2002, there is a research happened, which is very important to mention when I say immunity, where there are sinus bags. Sinus bags, you might have been seeing that, especially maxillary and ethmoid sinus. It secretes antioxidant to get rid of this particular infection. So among that, one material is called nitric acid. When the researches happened, they published that one of the antioxidant is nitric acid. The same year, there is one more yoga research paper came on top of that the low humming Brahmari breathing increase the nitric acid secretions. So that is another additional research paper support that whenever you are practicing pranayama, your immune responses are high, potential, energetic. So through this way, we have understood that there are certain breathings which can improve your immunity, which can bring down your anxiety, which can support your system to perform better. That is why yoga is very essential practice, especially in this situation. Now, considering all this, when the lockdown was started in the month of March, Indian Yoga Association have released a module called SGP, Synchronized Global Prayer. Many of the yoga portals and yoga website, even in our website, we have mentioned about what is SGP. It is a simple 15-minute practice. Nothing 1 hour, 2 hour you have to stretch. Nobody is suggesting you to overstretch yourself because your body should not undergo any additional physical or emotional stress. We don't know whether we are corona positive or negative. Those who tested, those who shown the symptom only know that what is the situation. Many are asymptomatic in this situation. So we are not suggesting anybody to do overstretch or overstress yourself in any way. So what it says in SGP is 15 minutes practice where they are suggesting you to do abdominal breathing and Brahmari breathing. Only two types of breathing you are doing there. Then there will be resolution you are taking, that a message you are conveying to the subconscious mind, and you are concluding with the Shakti mantras. It is a very simple practice. So these two I am going to explain today. What is that importance of abdominal breathing? Those who practiced yoga with me, you might have been understood how it is abdominal breathing. What is abdominal breathing? Normally, people are occupied with so many thoughts. The moment they wake up, they see mobile, so many other things. As the thought frequency increases, we come back to the shallow breathing. Inhaling, our chest will expand, exhaling it goes down like this. So we are breathing very shallowly. Only upper part of the lung, the narrower part of the lung we are using. In abdominal breathing, we are using the deeper part of the lungs, the more broader part of the lungs where more surface area is there, so that the breathing is so profound, enormous amount of oxygen can be absorbed. The lung capacity increases, oxygen absorption capacity increases, and all the alveoli will be active. That is the benefit of abdominal breathing. And meanwhile, as you do abdominal breathing, the amount of thoughts or this tension will come down. You will be very calm. That is another benefit of it. That is abdominal breathing. Second breathing, which I told that Brahmari Pranayama. Brahmara means bee, which is visiting from one flower to other flower. You might have been seeing that. Brahmara means bees, they make the sound. So, Brahmara breathing means with the inhalation, if you are making that humming sound, that's called Brahmara breathing. With the exhalation, that humming sound is produced, then it's called Brahmari breathing. Like you will be inhaling, with the exhalation, this way. So there are different mudras to practice this. So in SGP they suggested that 27 times you have to do Brahmari. Did not be very long. We can go up to 20 seconds of exhalation. But in this practice they suggested 5 to 10 seconds are enough. So there are different mudras. One is Shanmukhi mudra, where you're closing your ears with earlobe is there, just pressing your thumb over there and closing your forefinger and middle finger on the eyes, not pressing, just keeping on the eyes. Ring finger beside the nose and small finger beside the mouth. I repeat, thumb finger slightly pressing the earlobe, forefinger and middle finger just placed on the eyes, ring finger beside the nose and small finger beside the mouth. The moment you do this, your focus will be completely inward, and you have to start Brahmari, like inhale, this way. If you feel this is difficult, you can just close your ears and can do that. Or you can adapt a chin mudra in your hand and you can do that. So there are 27 times you're supposed to do. Normally in our practice, we do 5 times with the Shanmukhi mudra, then we leave our hand, then we continue rest of the 22 like that. So after Brahmari, you are taking the resolution, then we have to clap, then Shanti mantra. Every day, if you can dedicate this 15 minutes to yourself, just observe that. Immediately after Brahmari, just observe yourself, how connected you are to your spirit. It's a very beautiful, blissful state. No thinking will be occupied your mind. You are extremely calm, enjoying the inner peace. Body is enjoying a positive energy. Whenever regularly you practice Brahmari, you see the day will be very positive. There is no much negative thoughts can dominate your mind. Even though negative thoughts may come, it will not occupy your mind very long. This is the potentiality of Brahmari. Meanwhile, when you are producing this sound, the entire environment you are creating positive. In SGP, the Indian Yoga Association said that in schedule that Indian Standard Time morning 8 o'clock and evening 6 o'clock. If you are practicing that time, you are joining a huge group of yoga practitioners. See, there are so many ashrams across India. In SVASA itself have 190 branches across globe, 80 branches in India. Similarly, there are Vishankarji 120. There are so many branches which are all practicing this. So it's a beautiful experience. We also in Yoga Chaitanya, we practice this in online session. We have take the Skype meeting, and we different parts of the globe people are joining. This is very beautiful experience. I suggested this to your father Prashant, principal. He also said that if the people are coming with interest, we have to practice this. This is a very basic practice, abdominal breathing, Brahmari. That itself is sufficient to keep your immune system boosted. See, the Brahmari, when you're chanting, the tonsils and all the sinus will vibrate. You feel the vibration in this area, both throat area. So this area will be feeling the vibration, activating the physical level. Emotional level, you are calm. And a spiritual level, you are connected, you are fully aware, conscious. Then the consequences of this negative consequences are very less. Meanwhile, you will become a positive energy generating person rather than an emotionally charged, depressed person. You will be very energetic person, inspiring person. So let us take the suggestions suggested by these institutions. There are a lot of ideas are already given to you, shared with you how important yoga is on this yoga day. Let us understand that. Let us dedicate it some time for ourselves. If someone says that I don't have time for yoga, that is the exactly time you're supposed to start yoga. If you feel that you don't have the time in your life, time is running out like that, that is the exact point you're supposed to start practice yoga and bring you back to the natural condition. So conveying this message, I wish you all the best. A lot of health, peace, success and joy should fill with every student, and take this opportunity to practice yoga. SH is suggested for a lot of yoga courses. Father Prashant and his team have made a very beautiful model of the courses. If it is coming, make use of the opportunity to learn that. Being an Indian, it is an opportunity to learn yoga. You should know how the basic idea of yoga so that you can spread positivity across the globe. Conveying this message, I conclude my talk here, and once again thank all the team of SH and Father Prashant for providing this opportunity, and wish you happy International Day of Yoga.